Welcome, everyone. Let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking something really fascinating happening in higher education right now. We're looking at how becoming a peer academic leader, or a PAL, is just this completely transformative journey for high-achieving university students all over the world. If you've ever wondered how some students seem to effortlessly bridge the gap between learning a super difficult subject and actually teaching it to others, all while building a rockstar resume, well, this is exactly what we're going to get into today. So here is our roadmap for today. First, what is a PAL? Then we'll look at their global impact, the academic and leadership benefits, the professional edge, how to actually become one, and finally, how to navigate the challenges. All right, starting off with Section 1, what is a PAL? The call to lead. Okay, so the most important concept to grasp right off the bat is that PALs, who are sometimes part of what they call peer-assisted study sessions, are near peers. They're usually upper-year undergrads, maybe grad students, who step up to mentor the incoming first years. Basically, they bridge that huge, intimidating gap between listening to a professor lecture and actually applying the material yourself. We see this everywhere, from doing one-on-one resource meetings at the University of Missouri, Kansas City, to leading these awesome collaborative physics sessions over at the University of Liverpool. They are literally on the front lines of student success. And hey, let's bust a major myth real quick. PALs are absolutely not substitute teachers. No way. They aren't going to stand up there and lecture you, and they definitely aren't grading your assignments. Think of them more as facilitators. They model really effective study habits that get group discussions going, and they just build a highly collaborative vibe. By doing this, they create this super relatable support system that, honestly, formal academic advising just kind of struggles to match. Moving right along to Section 2, Global Impact and Retention, Building a Supportive Community. Now, check out this number right here, 12%. That is a 12% drop in student attrition rates, all driven by the PASS program over at the UK's University of Reading. I mean, think about that. That is a massive amount of students staying in school who might have otherwise just slipped through the cracks. And it's not just a UK thing either. Down in Australia, the University of New South Wales is reporting a staggering 18% boost in student retention thanks to their peer assistance models. Higher ed institutions all over the globe are looking at these numbers and realizing, wow, integrating PALs into residential communities and notoriously tough courses is a slam dunk strategy for keeping students enrolled and actually thriving. Which brings us to Section 3, Academic and Leadership Benefits, the Trial of Mastery. So there is this incredible teaching-to-learn dynamic going on here. Just look at that jump. Sacramento State University found that their PAL leaders achieved 23% higher grades in the exact courses they were supporting compared to non-leaders. And when you really think about it, it makes total sense, right? To lead a study session, you have to constantly review the material, break complex concepts down simply, and anticipate where people are going to get stuck. That rigorous prep turns passive reading into active, rock-solid mastery. But hey, it's not just about bumping up your own GPA. Taking on this role is essentially a leadership bootcamp in disguise. Places like UMass Dartmouth and UNC Greensboro, which actually runs a dedicated training course called UNS 201, are forging some serious real-world skills in these students. You're planning and running weekly groups, you're learning to gracefully redirect complex conversations, and you're figuring out how to give constructive feedback without totally dominating the room. It's public speaking, conflict resolution, and time management all rolled up into one experience. Let's look at Section 4, the professional and personal edge, the reward. What's really cool is that volunteering your time like this often translates into paid professional development. Out of 24 programs surveyed, 18 actually offer real financial relief. We're talking hourly wages or stipends, like at UMass Dartmouth, where they pay their pals $17 an hour. But even beyond the paycheck, the networking access is just phenomenal. You're working side by side with faculty, which translates into incredibly strong recommendation letters, plus you get access to professional conferences, and you build these amazing lasting friendships with the rest of your cohort. To give you an idea of how this plays out in the real world, let's look at a couple of actual students. Take Alex over at UMKC. He mentored freshmen through these transitional workshops, and he directly credited that exact leadership experience for getting his graduate school acceptance. Or consider Sarah from the University of Liverpool's physics department. She took on a PAL role, locked down her own physics knowledge, built a great network with her professors, and boom, landed a highly coveted research internship. This role literally makes your resume jump to the top of the pile. And then there's the internal payoff. There is a quote from a UMass Dartmouth leader that just perfectly hits the nail on the head. They said, "Helping others succeed made me believe in my own abilities." Working so closely with your mentees fosters this deep empathy and sense of purpose. It gives you an undeniable surge in self-assurance and resilience that you carry with you into every single aspect of your life. All right, moving to Section 5, How to Become a Pal, Crossing the Threshold. If you are sitting there feeling called to this, here is your actionable roadmap. First up, check your eligibility. Usually, programs want a GPA of 3.0 or higher and at least a B+ in the target class you want to support. Step 2, you apply. Get your resume, a cover letter, and a faculty recommendation together. Once you're selected, be ready to train. You'll usually do about 6 or more hours diving deep into facilitation techniques. And finally, you commit. You're looking at about 6 to 9 hours a week leading sessions, constantly seeking feedback, and adapting to excel in the role. And finally, Section 6, Navigating Challenges and Evolving, the Future of Leadership. Look, adding 6 to 9 hours a week onto a full-time university schedule, that requires some seriously excellent time management. And yeah, you're going to hit roadblocks, like trying to pull answers out of a totally quiet or unenthusiastic room of students. The trick to mitigating burnout is setting really strict boundaries and leaning heavily on your fellow cohort leaders for support. Successful pals don't let these hurdles stop them. They just view them as vital growth opportunities. And honestly, this role is only getting more critical. Between hybrid class formats and all these new AI tools popping up, universities are leaning on peer leaders more than ever to guide students through a constantly changing landscape. Programs are just going to keep evolving because they drive absolutely incredible results, like this proven 15% overall grade gain they're seeing at SMU. PALs remain a completely essential piece of the future of higher education. So, knowing the immense academic edge, the undeniable career boost, and that deep personal fulfillment waiting for you, we just have to ask, are you ready to take the leap and start your peer academic leader journey? If you're a high-achieving student looking to seriously level up your skills, the Peer Academic Leader Academy by academicjobs.com is absolutely the premier organization to trust with your PAL training. The opportunity is right there waiting for you. Thanks so much for hanging out with me for this explainer, and keep learning.